Xin mời phần phát biểu trực tuyến của bà Karen Kelly, Thứ trưởng Bộ Thương mại Hoa Kỳ với chủ đề chương trình hợp tác Hoa Kỳ Asean trong phát triển đô thị thông minh. Xin mời.
Good morning. I want to thank the government of Vietnam and the ASEAN Secretary for the opportunity to speak today on behalf of the United States Department of Commerce and our interagency partners in this U.S.-ASEAN Smart Cities Partnership. To Prime Minister Phuc, ASEAN Secretary General Hoi, and Singapore Foreign Minister Balakrishnan, it is an honor to virtually join you and other leaders from across Vietnam and Southeast Asia. My remarks today will be divided into 4 parts. First, I will briefly discuss how this year's global pandemic is presenting challenges to businesses and smart city policymakers worldwide. Second, I will highlight some of the successes resulting from the U.S.-ASEAN Smart Cities Partnership despite those challenges. Third, I will discuss the principles that underpin our long-term commitment to our ASEAN partners in developing smart cities, sustainable and thriving cities. And I will conclude with a brief review and preview of what lies ahead in this important partnership. Let me begin by addressing the COVID-19 pandemic, which is on the top of everyone's mind, and quite frankly, the reason why this summit was being conducted virtually. The outbreak of COVID-19 has caused significant disruption in the entire global economy, with especial notable impacts to urban municipal budgets. The IMF estimates the world's gross domestic product will shrink by 4.9% in 2020, largely due to COVID-19. The economies of the ASEAN nations are expected to fare slightly better, with an expected 2.8% decline in GDP in 2020. The slowdown in urban areas is even more acute, as the IMF expects cities to lose an estimated 15 to 25% of their revenues in 2021. The economic harm of the pandemic has been especially concentrated with the transportation and tourism sectors. For example, tourist arrivals in Thailand dropped to 0 in the months of April and May. And Vietnam's tourism revenues in the first 7 months of 2020 fell by more than half. The United States is facing similar challenges, particularly with respect to our cities. One example is New York City's Metropolitan Transit Authority, which may face up to an $8.5 billion deficit by the end of this year. And that is despite receiving $3.9 billion in federal bailout funding over the summer. Unfortunately, these declines in urban economic activities and tax revenues may slow smart city development and in the very near future. S&P Global Market Intelligence expects new smart city projects in the United States to fall by about 7% in 2021. However, these setbacks will only be temporary, because the long-term need to develop and implement smart city technologies and systems remain. If anything, this pandemic has further highlighted the critical importance of making our cities more adaptable and resilient. We are just a few weeks away from marking the 2nd anniversary of the U.S.-ASEAN Smart City Partnership, which Vice President Mike Pence announced during his 2018 U.S.-ASEAN Summit address in Singapore. The U.S.-ASEAN Smart City Partnership consists of a whole-of-government effort by the U.S., along with our friends in Southeast Asia, to exchange best practices, develop policy approaches, and identify technologies with a proven track record. The partnership has also directly led to 20 specific projects in ASEAN-located municipalities, supported by $13 million in funding. The projects cover a wide variety of smart city sectors, from transportation to water management, from energy integration to artificial intelligence. I would like to highlight just a few of the success stories that have resulted from this partnership in just less than 2 years. One of our very first planned projects focused on improving healthcare systems in Cambodia. The project will support a woman-owned business that will begin digitizing medical records in 3 Cambodian cities, including the capital, Phnom Penh. Another initiative, the United States partnered with Singapore to deliver the first Smart Cities third country training program. The training program brought together both local and national officials from the U.S. and ASEAN nations to discuss the important smart city topics, such as planning for urban sustainability, securing long-term financing, pursuing best procurement practices, and they were highlighted as the U.S. Trade and Development Agency's Global Procurement Initiative, setting technology standards that value interoperability, and managing cybersecurity risk, which allow a seamless and secure transfer of data across borders. The U.S. Trade and Development Agency has been very active in Southeast Asia, including Vietnam, by facilitating several projects with cities throughout technical cooperation grants and programs. 2 of them include the funding to support Ho Chi Minh City's implementation of an intelligent operations center to assist with responses to floods, traffic, pollution, and other urban challenges, and the funding of Davao City in the Philippines to upgrade the Public Safety Command Center and to develop intelligent transportation management systems. Over the last 3 months, the United States Department of Transportation has organized virtual workshops with more than 100 transportation planning experts from across Southeast Asia. These virtual sessions focused on helping cities consider implementing smart transportation technologies that support users' needs while protecting their privacy. The Transportation Department has also established 5 city pairs to advance sustainable transport and mobility. Some of them include Jakarta and Los Angeles, Johor Bahru and Port Lorga, Kuala Lumpur and Dallas, Phuket and Las Vegas, as well as Phnom Penh and Boston. The Transportation Department has also teamed up with the State Department to develop a thriving city-to-city peer twinning system. This pairing system has already connected water utility officials from Ho Chi Minh and San Francisco, as well as Phuket and Milwaukee. They exchange ideas on smart water management, treatment, and flood management. All of these successes in such a short time really reflect the lasting commitment the United States has to this partnership. We are particularly proud of the principles that underpin our joint initiatives. The fundamental values that drive the United States are outlined in our Indo-Pacific vision. These values include economic policies that are market-based, development should be broad-based and inclusive, international trade should be free, fair, and reciprocal, and that ASEAN is an irreplaceable strategic partner in this region. Our approach to the more technical aspects of smart cities is informed by pioneering work from the Department of Commerce's National Institute of Standards and Technologies, or NIST. NIST has developed the Global Cities Team Challenge to nurture global collaboration between city officials and technology innovators through their supercluster networks to help them share and implement best practices. After working with more than 200 communities worldwide and more than 500 companies, nonprofits, and government NIST has gained several insights. They include, first, cities and communities must lead their own smart city development. They understand best the community's needs and the community's aspirations, as well as the community challenges. Second, a smart community is necessarily a mix of both assets and stakeholders from the private and public sector. Third, smart city developers should avoid reinventing the wheel by closely collaborating with international counterparts who have faced similar challenges. And fourth, dream big. Innovative communities can leverage small initial investments into powerful solutions that scale across both infrastructure and sectors. NIST has developed a Smart Cities and Communities framework that focuses on key performance indicators, cyber security and privacy, data governance, and public safety, among other topics. When it comes to smart city innovation, NIST welcomes participation by all cities, all communities, and all tech inventors around the world. We are proud that since 2014, Singapore and cities such as Manila and Bandung have cooperated with NIST, and we look forward to more collaboration with ASEAN cities. Our efforts within the partnership seek to improve the delivery of essential service to those ASEAN cities. Doing so will require understanding and implementing new and emerging technologies, such as 5G communications, Internet of Things applications, and cloud computing. Many U.S. companies are eager to share their expertise and product solutions with you, several of which are participating in this event, including Qualcomm, Amazon Web Services, and Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. To learn more about these companies and how our companies can help you, I encourage you to contact your National American Chamber of Commerce chapter, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and the U.S. ASEAN Business Council. In fact, Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross will deliver the keynote remarks next week for the Indo-Pacific Business Forum, which the U.S. Chamber and the U.S. ASEAN Business Council are helping to coordinate and organize. I also encourage you to continue working with your local commercial service office, the State Department, the U.S. Embassy teams, to share your ideas, to highlight new project opportunities, and to connect with American companies. Our local commercial service teams are led in Vietnam by Senior Commercial Officer Eric Xu, and in Southeast Asia by Regional Senior Commercial Officer John Bridenstine, who is based in Bangkok, Thailand. Despite the challenges presented by the pandemic, we remain committed to continuing these virtual exchanges, and we will resume our in-person engagements as soon as it becomes safe. Later this year, the Department of Commerce will launch a series of webinars to connect city leaders and ASEANs with U.S. companies to discuss project opportunities. When travel resumes, we will fund U.S. visits by city and national officials from the ASEAN nations to trade shows, to meet with U.S. companies and industries to discuss things such as ICT, energy, water, transportation, and waste management. And this fall, the Department of Commerce will host 3 additional events in Vietnam. The U.S. Da Nang Dialogue on Intelligent Transportation Services Systems on November 19th. On November 20th, the U.S. Quang Nam Dialogue on E-Government, and the U.S. Ho Chi Minh City Dialogue on its Intelligent Operations Center and Integrated Emergency Communication System will take place on December 10th. All of these initiatives that the U.S. is encountering demonstrate that we are committed to the partnership between us and the ASEAN states for the long term. Our collaboration on smart city development is just part of the broader strategic partnership, and the ASEAN is central to the United States Indo-Pacific vision. Smart city development touches on each one of the 3 Indo-Pacific economic priorities. It is infrastructure, energy, and digital cooperation. In this spirit of partnership, I encourage you to remain in close contact with the dedicated U.S. government staff in all 10 ASEAN member states. They will serve as a reliable resource, and they will connect you with the broader smart city specialists and ecosystem. To the ASEAN and Vietnamese hosts, thank you again for the opportunity to speak with you today. I look forward to the many accomplishments we will achieve together. Thank you.